Hey everybody, it's Rob from Flailthroughs, and thank you once again to Bandai Namco Entertainment America for giving me the ability to do this test drive of the G-quex. G-quex is a 500 cost general, usable in ground and space, compatible with both ground and space. There's something else recently I believe that had that, but it's fairly unusual. But yeah, also melee priority 3, as a lot of protagonist generals tend to have. 17,000 hit points, 15 ballistic resistance, 15 beam resistance, 24 melee resistance, 25 range strength, 25 melee strength, movement speed 130, boost speed 210, thruster gauge of 70, turning speed of 69. Close range slots 14, medium 12, long range 10. At 512 enhancement points, it gets a point of range strength. At 1030, it gets a point of melee strength. At 1550, it gets an extra 100 shield hit points. At 2070, it gets extra expansion slots, taking it to 15, 13, 11. If you pay DP and engineering kits to break the first limit, you get an extra 5 range strength at 4140 enhancement points. If you do it again and get 6210, you get a melee modifier of +5. So it's not bad. All right, so yeah, comes with a beam rifle. It is an EPAC rifle. It does charge, 12 seconds to reload, 350 meter range, 1900 power per shot, cooldown time between shots 4.5 seconds. Let's see. Normal fire that suppresses, focused fire offers suppression and a reasonable firing rate, which leads me to believe it's burst fire probably when charged. The G-queuuuuuX beam saber, that looks really nice actually. Power 2300, cooldown time between swings 2.5 seconds. No special abilities. Let's see, the Tominosuke Heat Hawk Throne is 2200 damage, ammo of 1. Range 250 meters, reload time 8 seconds. It is, in fact, a ranged melee weapon. Kinetic energy is added to the attack power of this Heat Hawk when thrown, but you must stop moving to use it. If it hits from behind, additional damage is dealt. Neat. The rifle also has a Gerobi type attack, discharge weapon. 600 damage, I'm assuming, per tick. 2 ammo, 350 meter range, cooldown time 3.5 seconds between bursts, reload time 12 seconds, and 0.8 of a second to charge. Focus is required. Let's see, it does pierce, but you can move while it's focusing, even though you have to stop to fire. It has a medium shield with 4,000 hit points, and that's about it. Okay, yeah, it has just enough weapons for the 4 primary equip slots. That's fine. I do wish you could use the Heat Hawk as a hand weapon as well, but you know, the saber's gonna have better range anyway. But you know, melee combos like that are always nice. Skill set: level 3 leg shock absorber, which puts less stress on the legs after boosting and jumping, and makes them recover from stress very, very slightly faster. Emergency evasion system 1, so it can dodge once and then the thruster gauge will overheat. Flight control program 2, so you can jump and boost in midair. Anti-blast stabilizer, so you can be standing next to an enemy when it explodes and not get heavy staggered. Balancer level 1, so you can go into melee attacks from immediately after a boost or a jump. High spec ambac level 2, which gives a little extra turning speed, and when you use it in space, gives you a smooth transition into your regular movement if you are boosting in a straight line. Maneuver armor 1, so it's harder to stun when it's boosting. Forced injector 2, so it can change directions while boosting relatively easily. Melee combo controller 1, so a 2-hit melee combo. High performance radar 1, so 350 meter radar range, so if you can see it on your radar, you can hit it with your beam rifle. Backbinder cushioning level 3, so 30% damage reduction if anything hits the backpack. And high mobility evasion system. Pressing the touchpad during high-speed movement will execute an evasion can be used again after some time passes. So it has both dodge roll and a pocket special dodge, basically. So, all right, we're going to take this out into the usual training grounds at 500. And, man, I'm a little stuffy. Apologies. But, yeah, I'm happy this is in the game. I'm kind of assuming we're going to get a version of it eventually. Ooh, I like the roll. More patterned after its loadout in the finale. Just because, yeah, it kind of feels like it should have more than it does. This, kind of a basic version, I feel like. Okay, so uncharged, 1923 damage to a standard Gundam, which did just get buffed, incidentally. And the charged version. Okay, yeah, fires 2 shots in a row for the same amount of damage, I believe. Yep. Okay, it's not bad. Let's see, the Gerobi rifle, yeah, it charges very quickly. And doesn't do, only hits a few ticks worth of damage, but it's enough to be worth 3,000, which isn't bad. Okay, the Heat Hawk, let's land it from the front first so we can see the difference in the damage. 2227 from the front, and fairly fast reload on that too, which is nice. 2895 from the back. That's not bad. Let's see, the melee pattern. Okay, so a downward swing with the default melee. Left and right look to be left and right. Let's see what the neutral does. Well, it kills because that was low on health. Let's see. It's going to be mostly Zocs around here, I think. So, well, let's try it and see what happens. All right, and 2300 against a support. That's not bad as a general. And the downswing, okay, is a nice traveling downswing with a decent amount of damage. Okay, so let's look at, the usual look at the usual mobility skills. It has Forced Injector 2, so you can change directions a couple of times while boosting without overheating. See. No, it didn't have Quick Boost, but it does have Flight Control, which lets you boost in the air. Yeah, it has level 2, so you can jump and or boost in the air. I believe it gets more fuel efficient and actually, I think, provides damage reduction while boosting in the air at higher levels. Let's see. Yeah, it does have a single dodge roll. And interesting. Okay. That's interesting. For some reason, the high mobility evasion can only be used while boosting. That's interesting. You can use it once every 15 seconds, so, and of course it does not overheat your thrusters, so that's not the worst thing to have. Yeah, still can't fire while boosting, but, I think for a 500, that's a decent and fairly reasonable skill to have. Yeah, this is not bad. Yeah, no midair rifle or no midair rifle should be fine. No midair saber. Cannot throw the Heat Hawk when in the air because it is stopped fire. But yeah, you can fire the rifle in the air. Since this is also stopped fire, you're not going to be able to fire that in the air. But let's see, how much damage does this do against a Zoc, and will it stop one? Yes, it will. About 2245, that's not terrible. Will the charged rifle hit the stop the Zoc? Yes, it will. Nice. Okay, yeah, so it can stop things with relatively solid stun defenses. That's not the worst news. And, yeah. Like I said, feels a little bit light on gear and capabilities to me. It doesn't have any kind of, like, resonance skill or, Psychomu activation skill. Of course, since the Since the blindfold is up, it is technically using its Omega Psyche Mu as we speak. But, okay, yeah. I like the somersault. Yeah, okay. Now that's something I want to test while we're here. Since it can boost in the air with the use of the flight control skill, can it use high mobility evasion in the air? Yes. Yes, it can. Okay, that opens some interesting possibilities. I like that. Yeah, so like I said, it does feel kind of basic. It should, you know, there are definitely some more things it should be able to do if we, you know, take it all the way. But there's also, you know, they've already solicited a basically final battle version of it with some extra, with some extra equipment. So yeah, that's, you know, there we could get another version of the G-queex yet, which, you know, I feel like if we're going to get the G-Fred, which of course will have a couple bits, that would be worth getting. But we'll see what happens. For now, it is... Oh, wait. Before we do anything, it is time to look at the tackle. Okay, yeah. So, tackle is fairly dynamic, but, you know, not particularly unusual tackle pattern. That's fine. All right. Yeah, let's turn on enemy AI, turn off force counter with tackle, and see what we can do. Yeah, that stunned it. That killed it. Yeah, pretty good damage. I think the melee downswing has a pretty good multiplier on it from the amount it did to that Zoc. Oops, I canceled out of that before I hit the Zoc twice, so it was able to counter me without much issue. Well, there's a skill for that too. Got it. Okay, yeah, I think that, yeah, 3220 against a Zoc, not bad. Now, the interesting thing is, of course, the Zoc, because of its quick turn skill, actually has a defense against the G-quex's back attack. Okay, so yeah, did not... Okay, so it does not tend to... the downswing will maybe not connect from that distance, but... And, yes, piercing from the rifle. You can stun 2 Zocs at once. I think that's fairly substantial, honestly. Ow. No mazer from you. Ow. Please stop with the beams. To be honest, I kind of feel like the shield is a little bit too small to be a medium shield, but, you know, whatever. It's not a big deal in terms of shield, you know, size differential. It's not... I honestly don't know what the difference is after all these years between the various shield sizes. I kind of assume, perhaps incorrectly, that the big difference is how much speed you get when that shield is destroyed. I feel like probably the larger a shield is, the more speed you get when it's broken. I have nothing to support that except just, you know, random intuition, meaning nothing. Yeah, that's pretty much how to put that. Yeah, feels pretty good. It does not, you know, unlike some things we've gotten, it does not feel like it is really stretching the bounds of what is possible with a 500 mobile suit. It definitely feels appropriate for a 500. Now, here's a question. Yes, okay, now that is a serious thing to keep in mind. If you have... Alright, that worked out. If you have the high mobility evasion skill ready, you can dodge with your legs broken and not fall on your face. Behold. Yep. Yeah. Nailed the landing, did not die. Gonna die now, or did not fall over. Going to die if I can't finish this Zoc before it finishes me. We'll see. Gotcha. Okay, yeah. Yeah, that is a seriously useful skill. That is the like the first like really interesting ability that the Quax has so far as I'm concerned. The rest of it is not bad, certainly. But again, fairly standard for a 500, which, since technically GQuuuuuX does take place 2 years before Zeta Gundam happens in the primary timeline, that makes sense. It feels, more or less in terms of capabilities, it feels, relatively, not too, super overpowered. Again, once we get into like the full ramifications of its abilities, I feel like there's probably a 600 or up version of the GQuuuuuX available, and likewise the G-Fred, and I hope we get them. There's also just a ton of other GQuuuuuX suits I want to get. One of which being the White Gundam. I want to get that for myself at some point, hopefully. We've got the Red Gundam, we've got the White Gundam, we've got the GQuuuuuX. I would like some of the GQuuuuuX grunt suits in here. I really like the Gan Hakuji Pack's design. And, closest we may get to the Gan Krieger, so that would be nice too. Like, yeah, I was, we were talking about the Gan Hakuji, and, yeah, it was basically designed for Seraphic Zero, especially in the Xavier version, because, yeah, it's, it's white and gold, it has a lance, it is a Gan, it's just like, yeah, like 100%, right up his alley, so I hope that gets added to the game. Like the rest of the Quax model kits, I am going to get that, like, the moment I can. Yeah, it does not feel bad, and you can tell it's pretty good, because I am actually managing to... I've only been killed once in this, and I haven't been, taking too bad of a beating. Yeah, just like most of the rapid-fire beam rifles, if you only have... Man, that lamppost never walk again. If you only have one shot left in the E-Pack, it will not fire multiple shots, logically. But and watch out for when you're fighting things with stun defense like a Zoc, because you need both of those shots to land the stun. Meanwhile, however, the Gerobi variant will just stun whatever is in line with it if you land the whole thing. So, very handy. Yeah, to be honest, I like that skill better than Quick Turn. I just did not land the attack I was trying to land with it, but I like it. And yeah, ranged melee, of course, like I've mentioned before, with the, still a relatively rare damage type in the game. There are things that have ranged melee, like the Moon Gundam's Butterfly Edge. And yeah, melee attacks override a lot of stun defenses, not all of them, but a lot. So yeah, that axe throw will stop things that other attacks would not. So just something to keep in mind. 2328, bad. Yeah, again, I really like this thing. Missed that by a mile. Didn't miss the axe. Gun them down. And like I think I mentioned, I called it, the Gundam, the RX-78 did get buffed to, go along with its GQuuuuuX performance. Not that, as it was seen in GQuuuuuX, had a ton of bearing on, the actual RX-78, but, I'm still happy to see it, because, yeah, I'm sure there will be people who want to have the 500 Gundam fight the GQuuuuuX, and, yeah, it is better equipped to do that now. Beam rifle feels really good. It has, charges very, very quickly, and, can also rapid fire relatively quickly, though in my experience it will overheat before it does enough build stun to manage anything to stun an enemy. I've managed to wander my way out of that sentence given enough time. Hooray. But yeah, this is the GQuuuuuX. I like it. I want to get it for myself. I am hoping. But I'm glad I had enough tokens left to do the test drive for it. So that is gonna do it for today's Gundam Battle Operation 2 test drive. We will be back soon with more. And until next time, everybody take care and have fun. Later.